All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Misfit Corner Scams. This is the artist known as Andrew speaking, and we are live streaming. It is Saturday night, and I'm hoping my audio is coming through okay. I'm just going to give it a quick test and make sure. I think so. I guess we'll find out when I go to the channel. All right, let's see here. And we are. Okay, excellent. Let me just raise my computer up just a little bit. West Haven says, always and forever. Thank you. Appreciate you there. All right. I have no idea if the audio is coming through. Let me just double check the stream real quick. All right. Looks good. West Haven. Nice to have you here. Instinct Rules says hello. Welcome to the show. West Haven, always and forever, says hello from Connecticut. Excellent. Welcome. Clark's here. He says, what up, Drew? Not much, but I'm here. I'm live. Kicking. Loving it. West Haven, always and forever, says hello, host chat shared. Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. All right. Cool beans. I do have a bit of, it's kind of an announcement for the channel. It's a first for the channel. Earlier this week, I don't know if I should start spoiling it right now, if I wait till a little bit more people get in. Yeah, I'll wait for a little more people to come in. But I do have an announcement to make. And I hope everybody is having a fantastic weekend. Today is Saturday, one of my all-time favorite days. I get to spend time at the store. I get to come on and do my live stream and talk to people. I love it. I love Saturdays. And I'm going to sleep very well tonight. I always joke with my wife in the fact that on these live streams, I do a lot of talking. And I tell her, I said, usually on the Saturday night stream, I talk pretty much for about an hour straight. And afterwards, I get a good night's sleep because I'm worn out. I had at my regular day job, I had a presentation I was supposed to make on Thursday. And turns out the entire hour-long Teams meeting that we were doing was going, they ended up giving me the entire time to do the presentation. And I literally talked for 45 minutes straight. And afterwards, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm done. But hopefully everybody who was on that call got some information they didn't know about. I mean, it had nothing to do with scam calls, and so be it said. But I did. All right. So my regular normal 9 to 5 day job, Monday through Friday. I often have to get on calls with people because a lot of us work from home, and whenever I'm on the call with my boss or I'm on the call with one of my coworkers, my phone constantly rings. And they know it's scam calls because they've heard me actually take a scam call before. And when we were on this one Thursday meeting, my coworker was there with me on the call. And as soon as I started to give my presentation or start to go in, she heard my phone ringing in the background. And she's like, oh my God, please don't let Andrew answer that phone. She thought, no, please don't let him answer. Because when it's just her and I, or it's me and the boss, I'll grab the phone and say, hey, let's see what this is about. And I'll put it on speakerphone and start talking to the people if somebody's there. And she's like, there's like 25 people in the conference call at that moment. And she's like, please, Andrew, don't answer the phone. And she didn't say it, but she's thinking to herself, please don't answer the phone. And luckily, for my own sanity, I grabbed my phone. I immediately ignored the call and turned the ringer down, which is what I should have done before the meeting even started. But as you guys know, I am never well prepared for anything I do. Studio's here. Studio 7.6 said, words are hard. Yes, they are. Yes, they are, sir. If you'd like to join, I can send you an invite real quick. That's my buddy Avery. You guys have he's joined the show before. he doesn't always bring any enlightenments to the scam calls, but he keeps me sane. We've known each other for going on, oh good God, over 30 years, I think. Oh God, has it really been that long? And he he keeps me from losing my mind. Let me go ahead and send him an invite real quick, and let's check out what else is going on. Justing76 says hello, Jacksonville. Yep, that's right, Jacksonville. And Anita's here. Anita says hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. All right, awesome. I hope, like I was saying before, I hope everybody has had a good weekend so far. I look forward to tomorrow, being busy at the store. But man, did it rain today. I got to the store. I usually open the store around 10, and I started working on a project I was doing. And like 10:30, all of a sudden, it's like the sky opened up and just downpoured, and it downpoured for a good 2-3 hours straight. And I was like, holy crap, what's going on out there? And in my store, I have a storefront, so my store is kind of unique in the fact that I have windows and a door, and I usually don't pay attention to what's going on outside of my store. I have people that come in all the time and say, hey, do you know where this store's at, or do you know where they sell this? And I'm like, I haven't a clue. I have no idea. I barely go outside my own door, and when I do, it's to leave. But when the rain started coming down, it was like, holy crap. And what was so funny about it is, I don't know if for those of you not in Florida, that's the kind of thing that happens almost daily during the summertime. Is we get downpours and then boop, it goes away. But it was really early, which is really surprising. Usually it comes around in the afternoon, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But downpour, a couple hours later, it was gone. Clark says hello to Anita. Haven't seen you around lately. And she says hi back to Clark. I'm glad this is an opportunity for everybody to come together. Fantastic. Okay, we've gotten a good start to the show with the number of people coming in. Oh, wait a minute. Clark has something that could be interesting. He says, is there a tropical depression or tropical storm heading towards Florida, or was I dreaming that? There's one out there right now, and the radio that I listen to, the news station that I listen to, said we're not going to even get anywhere close to the effects or even in our vicinity till sometime next week. So to be honest with you, like most Floridians, we kind of don't pay attention till it's like directly heading towards us. The last one, the E name storm, they were talking about it, and then the next thing I know, it was all gone. It was done because we're now up to the F name storm. So I don't even know what it is. Oh, let me bring Avery in. What up, man?
Hey, what's going on, dude?
Isn't that true about Floridians? We don't really pay attention until it gets right next to us.
Oh, hurricanes?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
we don't care unless it's going to hit us directly, and it's higher than a 3.
Yeah, that's right. It's like otherwise, I have family who, when they moved down to Florida from the New England area, they asked me. They said, when hurricanes are coming, what are you most concerned about? And I'm like, losing power the next day.
Yeah.
And they said, you're not afraid of the wind or the rain? Or no. We get that no matter what. It's summertime in Florida. That's a normal thing. It's having extended bouts of no power is our biggest concern.
Yeah, that's your big concern.
Yep.
And unless it's going to hit you directly, and greater than a 3, it's no big deal.
Nobody really worries. There's a meme out there that shows a picture of a grocery cart saying Northerners in Florida preparing for a storm, and it's got like bottled water and it's got all essentials, and then it says Floridians preparing for a storm. It's like filled with beer.
Yeah.
Beer and charcoal.
Well, we've got the water around anyway because we already know to keep plenty of that around.
Oh yeah. I've got several gallons in the living room. I've got a whole 2 or 3 cases of water out in the garage. Water, toilet paper, and canned goods. Those are the big 3 things you need. And what's always funny is
I have 2 of those buckets where like each bucket's like a 2-week supply of food for one person.
Oh,
it lasts like 25 years. I've got like 2 of those. I'm probably going to buy some more.
We do a lot of the buying and then recycling. Like recently, my daughter came over and stole a couple of my jars of peanut butter. I've replaced that peanut butter. Peanut butter is a good thing to have on stock all the time. But you got ramen noodles, you got canned goods, you got all that stuff that will last a good amount of time, but you don't want to let it sit forever and ever.
Mm-hmm.
Once hurricane season is over, we start breaking some of that stuff out and using it, and then some of it gets replaced, some of it gets used, and so forth. We don't let it go to waste. But no, I've never invested in the buckets of food, those like long-term stuff.
Yeah.
They
were cheap, man, so I bought 2 of them. I'm probably going to buy some more. They last like 25 years.
All right, let me check up on the chat real quick. Rosie's here and says, hello, everyone. It just took me ages to get online, laugh out loud. It's okay. I've been watching on the TV while waiting for the laptop to start up. Hope everyone's well. Huge from Scotland. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Scotland. I'm not. I've told my wife and I have had the conversation about visiting other countries. She has a short list of places that she would like to eventually one day go. And I've told her I have no desire to leave the country. But there are places, if there were like a cruise to, Scotland would definitely be one. To Scotland or to, I know they do Alaskan cruises. Do they do cruises to like Iceland?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they do. I would like to see some of those areas, not so much as live there or visit. But to definitely see it would be nice. But there's no rush. We'll wait till I'm filthy rich and can afford to take weeks on end to go do that. So, yeah, the filthy rich part's the funny part. So. Jay says something on the Alabama coast. They can come up quickly. Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
I was just joking before. We do pay attention if they're building and there's even a chance it's going to come by. But if the news says it's going to go straight up into the ocean, we don't care. We're not paying attention. And to be honest with you, Avery, I know this is bad, but if they talk about it going up into the Gulf, I don't pay attention to that either.
No.
Only if it's, yeah. Actually, I do have family in Tampa now.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I should pay attention if it's going to do that. But previously, when I didn't really have any family in that area, I didn't worry about it too much. The only person I ever really got worried about is I have some friends that live in the Orlando area. So I'm always trying to pay attention if something's coming in that direction. But otherwise, the other side of the state, they got the Gulf. They should be happy. Let's see here. Justing76 says, how is Timothy and Eugene? They are fantastic. What's so funny is when I introduced Eugene recently, I used the same exact birth date as Timothy. So I'm starting to think that Timothy and Eugene could be twins.
You're crafting stories for them.
I am.
They have lore.
That's right. Got to create the appendices for them. Clark says hello to Avery.
What's up?
Clark also says hi to Rosie, and Rosie says hi to Clark. I hope you had a fab week. She says. Oh, Manuel's here. Awesome. How's it going, Manuel? He says good evening and happy Saturday to you too. Rosie says hello to Manuel and says happy Saturday and happy weekend. Absolutely. That's one of the best parts about doing a live stream on Saturday. You're right smack in the middle of the weekend, and most everybody is having a good time because it's the weekend. All right, Clark says hi to Manuel. Manuel says hi back to Rosie. Manuel says hi to Clark. Says happy Saturday night. Rosie says hello again to Manuel. Manuel says good evening, Drew. Happy Saturday night, Fever. Oh, absolutely. Rosie says, in Scotland, it's the opposite. If the rain stops for too long and the sun appears, it's unsettling. We're not used to it. Really? One of the things that happens here in Florida is once the rain stops, the humidity punches you in the face. Last weekend, it rained for a very short amount of time, and for some reason I left the store. I opened the door for the store and it had stopped raining, and I literally felt like I was walking into a brick wall of humidity, of heat. It was like, whoa, where does this come from? And the humidity is terrible. Aw, thank you, Jonathan. Jonathan sent me a $2 super chat for Timothy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Betty's here. Welcome to the show, Betty. So glad you're here. Betty was at our show yesterday on the comics channel. So and Jonathan sent another $2 for Herschel. They both appreciate it. They're on very low income Social Security, so every little bit helps. Trust me. Yeah. Manuel says, I'm doing good. My good friend Drew, thank you so much. Awesome. Good to hear. Clark says hello to Betty. Betty says, right back at you. And Justin76, is it possible to do a live broadcast with the scammers? I have considered it. There are days where I've gotten so many calls that I'm like, instead of just hitting the record button on my camera, I might just go live. But here's the thing. Sometime with some of the scammers, one of the things they do is they confirm my telephone number. I often beat that out when I edit the videos and put them out. But if I was on a live stream and somebody confirmed my telephone number, my real number would be out there. So I'm a little hesitant about doing that. But there are days where I'm getting so many calls. I'm like, what the hell? Let's just go live and see what happens. You know, it might happen. It might happen. Actually, if I used my little portable microphone, which is the one that sits next to me, it does have a mute button on it. And if they start to go, just to confirm your number is 904, and I hit it quick enough, I can keep it from going out on a live stream. So, one of these days it might happen. But as you guys probably are aware now, if you haven't, I do have a regular 9 to 5 job that I work. Yes, I do a regular 9 to 5 job. I get to do it from home, which is a good thing. And I take these calls, from time to time as they come in. But I am at this computer working most days, actually all freaking day long, sometimes from 9 to 5 o'clock, 9 to 5, pretty much Monday through Friday. But so to go live and do a live stream might get me in trouble if my bosses knew I was. And it's not my boss knows I have a channel. We've talked about it before. And he knows I get these scam calls, and he knows I like screwing with people. So if I went live one day during the day, that could cause problems. But you never know. There might come a day where I'm just fed up with that job and need a vacation and a day off. And I'll be like, what the heck? Let's go live. So you never know. I'm not going to rule it out. I will not rule it out as a possibility. Could be interesting. Betty gives a thumbs up. Excellent. Let's see here. Manuel says, hello, good evening, Betty. Happy weekend. Yep. Betty says, hello back to Manuel. And Betty says, you post so many videos, it's easy to forget that you have a job. That is true. My goal has always been one video a day. And usually during the day, I'll get one good call to where I'll say, okay, that's my call for tomorrow. No problem. Sometimes I'll get 2 or 3 of them, and I'll be like, yes, excellent. I've got a couple days taken care of. And then if I get a call later and I'm busy doing the real job, I will either blow them off or hang up or ignore them because I already got my call for the day. Trust me, it's not like they're going to stop calling. They call so often. Actually, today I got 3 calls, and at least one of them they actually answered and talked to me. 2 of them were just there was nobody there, and then they hung up. But yeah, I do have a regular job, and what's Avery? You know what's so funny?
What?
The last time I was in the office, we kind of raided the storage closet and found T-shirts and backpacks and hats that had my company logo on them. And I grabbed a hat and I grabbed a shirt. And the other day when I was doing the presentation Thursday, I was wearing the hat and the shirt. And as soon as the meeting was over, I quickly threw my shirt and hat back on because the last thing I wanted to do was do a scam call wearing my actual company logo on it.
Yes. Yeah, no. Yeah, don't do that.
Because I don't broadcast what my real job is, other than the fact that I work from home, and that pretty much covers like probably 75% of the jobs out there nowadays. In some cases,
it's a lot of people these days.
Yep. So you're not going to be able to figure it out that way, and it's no big deal. You can go check my LinkedIn or whatever. Actually, I think my LinkedIn has been so woefully updated that the only information on it is probably my old Citibank job from, what was it, 8 years ago now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. If somebody wants to go harass them, be my guest.
Yay! Harassment.
Rosie says, "Oh no, we had really high temperatures here a few weeks, but recently it reached 29 to 30 Celsius. I know that doesn't sound hot, but here that melts furniture." Oh, wow. But humidity as well would be the end for me. Lungs, yes. Yeah, trust me. Florida humidity can be bad. There are days in which it rains and then all of a sudden the sun comes out and you're like, I'm not going outside. They're just whatever you need, you're not going outside. So
yeah, they're not used to like real heat.
Yep.
Like we get here in the UK, they don't.
Yeah, Rosie says it must be exhausting though. The editing and organizing each upload, it's a whole job of its own, Drew. You should be proud of what you you do. Well, thank you very much. I do take pride in it, and I also take a lot of pleasure from doing it. So it's kind of fun. I have yet to be bored with making these scam calls. I have yet to find it a chore. I have yet to go, oh God, I got to make another video. And that's the best part is doing it and enjoying it and like doing it and love doing it. And I had somebody commented on one of my videos. It was maybe a day ago, and I responded today. They said this call was a waste of time. This video was a waste of time. And I responded to him and I said, hey, I'm sorry that I didn't meet your expectations, whatever those were. And I said, I strive to do better. And I appreciate the feedback. And the person came back and said, hey, listen, I didn't mean it that way. What I was saying was I get these kind of calls all the time and I know what it's like. And they were sympathetic and a little bit apologetic in their comments. And I responded, I said, no. Listen, my goal is to make an informative video and an entertaining video. And if I put one out there and it doesn't do either of those, if it doesn't work, tell me. Come out, let me know, because I obviously need to do better. And trust me, out of all the people in this room right now, nobody's perfect.
Be butter, Andrew.
Yes. I try. But I still have a lot of fun doing it. So be like you, of course.
Be butter.
All right, let me just catch back up here again. Justing76 is, how many scam calls do you get a day? I get probably 20 or more calls a day, probably half of them are simple hangups where they're testing the line to see if somebody picks up the phone. I will answer them, and you'll hear nobody will be there, and they usually last about 10 seconds before they hang up. So I get a lot of those. Actually talking to somebody and recording a video of me talking to them, I probably get 5 to 7 of those a day on average, normally. And of those, how many are worth making into a video? Maybe 1 or 2. So I have dozens and dozens of recordings that will probably never be made into videos because they were either so short and they gave up on me, or they weren't entertaining or informative at all. And if that's the case, I kind of just, don't worry about them. So, but yeah, about 20 to 25 calls a day. I also do 3 different telephone lines. I do my line, I do my wife's phone, and I do the home phone. So I'm monitoring 3 different lines. And I always find it funny when I'm on a scam call and I miss scam calls. And there are times when I'll miss 2, 3, 4 calls while I'm in the middle of a call, and it's very frustrating because I'm like, that could have been the good one. That could have been the best one for the day. But
I know it hurts you to miss them.
Yeah, it does. And my wife, it used to piss her off when I would answer a call. And if we were driving someplace, or if we were doing something, or if we were watching TV and I answer the call, she doesn't get as pissed off anymore because she knows I make videos and I get something from it.
Yeah.
But it still irritates her that I'm answering these calls.
Yeah, but it brings in a check now.
Yeah, and she understands that.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's got the potential to grow to grow too. You know.
Actually, what's so funny is we were running late to one of her doctor's appointments earlier this week, and we were going from one to another. And all of a sudden, I'm driving, and I start reaching into my pocket, and she yells at me, "Just ignore it." Well, when I pulled it out, turns out it was the doctor's office that we were going to because we were running late, calling to see if she was still coming in order to make the. And I'm like, it's for you. So had I not answered it, we might have gotten there, and they may have canceled the appointment. Yeah. So, I got her. Don't tell her I said that. Okay.
I'm going to tell her.
Okay, yeah, you will. Betty says 52 degrees Fahrenheit, 86% humidity is in Miami right now. Oh, wow. Well, 82 is not bad. I think today our high was 94 or somewhere in the low 90s. But we're in the time frame right now where we can get really, really hot with you if you add the humidity in. But it's when I greatly appreciate the fact that I have a storefront and a door, and I have a little AC, and you guys have no idea how wonderful that is. I've been set up at this particular flea market going on. Next year in March, it'll be 4 years, and 2 of them have been in this store where I have a storefront and an AC. So those first 2 years, either being out at the front in the tables in the front row, or having my small store where I did not have an AC unit, those were very trying times, especially during the summer. I actually know stores who one of the Doo-Wops, which is the record store right down from me, they close in August. He's not even open in August because it's so freaking hot.
To do
well, that's the name of the store, dude.
I know. My brain went someplace else.
All right. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Jonathan says hi to Justin76 and to Betty. Betty shouts back at Jonathan. Clark says, I landed a job this week at a healthcare and rehab facility as maintenance director. Oh, okay. Before that, I worked from home since COVID hit. Yep. I couldn't handle staying at home any longer. I was talking to my boss just this week, and we were talking about the fact that all of us still work from home on our team, but we're very much a support unit. So being in the office isn't necessary. And he asked me about, going back into the office, if that was something I wanted to do. And I told him there are times I miss being around people, but then whenever I'm in the office, I don't get a lot of work done because I'm around so many people. I said I get a lot more work done working from home.
By yourself.
I'm definitely a much harder worker at home. Plus, I don't know how laundry ever got done prior to working from home.
I don't know.
I wake up in the morning, I take my shower, feed the cats, go get breakfast, throw a load of laundry in the washer, and then log into my computer and say, I got to feed the cats. Otherwise, they'll eat us. And then I log into my computer and I start working. Otherwise, I have no idea how laundry would get done. Oh, I'm sure my wife could do it, but I try to help her out when I can. Betty says, congratulations to Clark. Absolutely. Congratulations, sir. Bill's here. Hey, Bill, how's it going? Shazid, I'm going to butcher the name. I'm so sorry. Shazib is here. He says hello, or hi. I should really read what they actually write instead of interpret it the way my brain reads it. Because, sometimes they might say something different than what I say. So
maybe.
Yeah, I'm bad. Rosie says, yay, well done, Clark. That's fabulous. Congratulations. They'll be lucky to have you. Absolutely. Congratulations again to Clark. Shazibib says, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm so sorry if I'm not. Says, please do not spread negativity about Medicare. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I have many relatives who are on Medicare. And to be honest with you, when my old job went away, one of the things I was secure about is that my wife was going to be covered health care wise because she had her Medicare. Where I went a couple of years without health insurance, I was okay knowing that she was covered. I would never say anything negative about Medicare. It's been a blessing to a lot of people I know in my family, a lot of people who can't afford other insurance. But you do have to realize that these people claiming to be from Medicare, these calls that I get over and over and over again, these people are not trying to help you at all. Okay? That's like somebody commented on one of my channel and said, is final expense insurance a scam? Absolutely not. That is something that you can contact a senior insurance specialist. You can contact any one of these companies that offer it, and you can get final expense insurance. There is nothing fraudulent about that. But the people offering it to you, don't necessarily have your best interests in mind. They are, a lot of times they're calling from spoof numbers, which means they're hiding where they're actually calling from, and they're willing to transfer you to a licensed professional, and a lot of times they're staying on the line to listen into your personal information. And that's where it's a scam. That's where these people are trying to take advantage of you. It's not the fact that final expense insurance or Medicare doesn't exist. It's there, but they're telling you that they are calling you on your behalf to help you with these things, and they're not. They absolutely are not. So that's what I'm saying. Medicare is not a scam. Final expense insurance is not a scam. But the people calling you, telling you that they're representing companies that offer those things, that's where the scam lies. It's like the solar panel people that call and say they're going to help you get solar panels. Solar panels are a real thing. I mean, they exist. Homeowners get them all the time. But the people calling you are trying to take advantage of you. They're trying to trick you. They're trying to get your money. They could care less about you than you would ever believe. So I mean, there is a difference between those things. So, but Shazib, I know I'm saying it wrong. Thank you for chiming in and mentioning that. Clark says, thanks, Betty. I went from working from home, making $13 an hour, to working at a facility, making $24 an hour. That's enough for me to not work from home. Excellent. That's a fantastic reason. Always good to go where the money's at, you know. Betty says, Drew, yes, you are entertaining and informative at the same time. You are getting a new scam, which is useful for scam baiters to know. And you are getting new scams. Yeah, well, Betty and I have talked about this before in the live stream I did with her and Tagao on CJ Scams, is that all my calls are them calling me. And probably 90% of the calls I get are ones we've all heard before. The Amazon, the Social Security Administration, the Medicare, the final expense insurance. These are all ones everybody's heard before. But every now and then, something new pops up. They try something different. A lot of times it's the same exact script, but they try a different tactic. They try a different scare tactic to get you to believe that they're calling on your behalf, and everybody needs to know about it. You know, sometimes it's the same old, and it's then me just screwing with them and wasting their time. Other times, they're taking a different angle, and that's what I want people to hear and know about. You know, because if they call and say A, B, C, you know it's a scam. But if they call you up and all of a sudden they skip to B, and then they skip C altogether and go right to D, you go, maybe this could be valid. I mean, they're not following the normal script. No. They're just changing stuff up. They're just trying to, make it work. I have a short that I put not last week, but the week before, in which the guy called, and it was a Medicare scam call. Of course, I've heard it many times. And he starts asking me questions, and I say to him, wait a minute, I think you forgot a step. Aren't you supposed to ask me if I have Medicare Parts A and B? And he freaked out and hung up. But he skipped Part A. He skipped Part A and started going into the rest of his spiel, and I'm like,
he threw him off.
I asked him, wait a minute, didn't you forgot a step? And he hung up, and it was like,
he didn't know what to think, bro.
There's nothing more hilarious than them proving the point that they're scammers, you know? And you'd think if somebody was a professional, I don't think a couple of these people maybe have attitudes of professional people, but the majority of times these are the most unprofessional people you've ever talked to in your life. And you know that a professional person dealing with these calls day in and day out, if you ask them a question that throws them off their script, they're going to figure out a way to recover. They're going to figure out a way they're going to get themselves back on track, and they're going to answer the question, and they're going to roll with it. These people panic and hang up. But then they call back and try again later. And that's fine. Bring it on. I love it. Clark says, I thank you, Rosie. Yep, absolutely. Justing76 says, I get about 30 or more scam calls. Record them. Put them on YouTube. I encourage everybody to do so. I think it's fantastic. But the ultimate goal is to screw with them and waste their time if you can. Betty says, Clark, this is awesome. Very happy for you. Absolutely. Shazib says, this is not a scams call. What's not a scams call? Are you talking about the Medicare calls? I would, if you're chiming in to tell me that those Medicare calls that I get are not scams, I would love for you to elaborate on that, because I can tear that statement apart in a heartbeat. Okay? So trust me, if that's what you're saying, if that's what you're claiming, that these calls claiming to be from Medicare or Medicare assistance are valid calls, just comment and let me know that's what you're trying to say, because I will tear you apart when it comes to the truth regarding these calls. Okay? So bring it on. Bring it on. Let's hear from you.
Andrew's getting spicy.
There is no way in hell that I get this many calls that are all valid calls.
No, they're all bullshit.
With the way they talk, with the way they handle the calls, no freaking way.
Social Security will not call you.
Well, Medicare, they don't have time to call you either. But what they're claiming, and what's so funny about some of these calls is they say, we're calling to help you get more benefits for 2022. You do realize it's September, right? This is something that you would probably do at the beginning of the year, but no, that's not important. We're going to try to get you additional benefits, and all the benefits that they list out are like no copays, free dental, free vision care, extra money on your Social Security check, extra money. It's all these things that if they offered that to every single person on Medicare, this country would be in rubble, because of the money that's being spent. These are all fictitious stories to get you to believe them, and then they tell you they're transferring you to a licensed agent, which I'm still iffy whether or not the licensed agent, the so-called licensed agent, is actually a legitimate agent or not. I had a call earlier this week in which I went to transfer to the guy. And the very first question I asked the guy was, so this is how you get around the national do not call list, is you have some scammer in India call for you. And he immediately hung up. They didn't want to address that at all because it's true. I don't know if they pay these call centers to do the calls for them, and they get around the whole national do not call list because of the fact that they're not in this country. But they're spoofing somebody's number in this country. The number that comes up is either a U.S. based number or even a local number. So they're hiding where they're actually calling from.
Yeah,
that's hint number one, that they're a scam, that they're attempting to do a scam. So, and even though I don't always record it, if the number that comes up is not a 904 number, a local number, I'll call it back just to see what it does. And most of the time, good 70 to 80% of the time, it's either a disconnected number, or it's a number that's no longer in service, or there's no answer there whatsoever. The bottom line is they're hiding who or where they're actually calling from. That's not legitimate. That is not a legitimate company calling to help you with your Medicare. It just is not. And anybody who believes it is full of crap and delusional.
I tend to think that because.
Well, Rosie says to Clark, it's a really difficult climate to find new jobs in, so you've done really well. I'm so happy for you, proud of you. Absolutely. Betty says, it gives a smiley face and says, records don't do well on hit. Wait a minute. Records don't do well on hit, I think. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe she explains later. Hold on. Justin says, hi to Jonathan. Betty says, people, prepare yourself to be here until midnight if Drew reads every chat. Hey, I'm doing really good. I used to do a live stream on my other channel, Misfit Corner Comics, and it was notorious for me ignoring the chat and not reading the chats, and to the point where # ignore the chat was trending on my channel a lot. And I've made a pledge to do my best to read all these comments, especially since you guys take time out of your day to leave me a comment, so I read them all. Oh, and I do read all the comments on the videos as well. I've gotten some very interesting insights in there, and I appreciate everybody who leaves a comment on the videos, either saying they like the video, they like the channel, they hate the video, they hate the channel. Leave me a comment. I read them, I take them to heart, and I'm always looking for ideas for ways to do it better. As you guys know, one of the addresses I give whenever they call, I know I may have mentioned it before. It's for the Scholzbacher Center downtown, which is the homeless shelter downtown.
Uh-huh.
That was actually a suggestion from somebody in the comments. They suggested either giving the police station downtown's address or a homeless shelter. I decided not to give the sheriff's office address because I don't know. That might tend to get me into trouble. So I went with the homeless shelter, and nobody has ever questioned me on it yet. I've been actually I did get a call from somebody. It was one of the solar panel people, and when I gave him the address, as soon as I gave him the address, I guess he looked it up, and then he hung up on me. But yeah, it's a single family dwelling. There's about 90 of us living there. You know, it's a normal thing. I've been waiting for somebody to question why I live at the Sulzbacher Center, and I'm like, well, hey, don't don't be just because I live here doesn't mean Go ahead, question it. Do it. I dare you. Anyway, Clark says to Betty and Rosie, thanks. I appreciate the kind words. Absolutely. And I think that's all. Sharing good news, that's fantastic, Clark. Congratulations to you, man. Rosie says low 90s, even in the Fahrenheit, is just nope. Can't even fathom it. then with the added humidity on top, frightening. It can be. It can. Guys, there is a fantastic season that comes to Florida every year. It's like clockwork. It's called winter, and it lasts about 10 days, and it is always worth it. It's cold out. The morning starts in the mid 30s. It gets the highs are like in the mid 50s. The wind is out. I mean, sometimes we even have to put on a sweater. From time to time, I might even have to put on jeans, but not that often. Not that often. Normally, it's still shorts weather, shorts and t-shirts. But it's such a fantastic time here in Florida. I look forward to it every year. But our winter literally only lasts about 10 days.
Yeah, we days. You might have a month total of nights where you really need to turn on your heater.
Oh yeah,
because it'll get below 65 in your house.
But it's usually very short, but it's usually very wonderful. Mike and I, when we went to New York a couple of times, we went up there to visit our friend Todd to go to the New York Comic Con, and there were days that we would go out in the morning, and it was like mid 50s or below, and he and I would be in t-shirts and shorts, and Todd's looking at us going, you freaking tourists. I said, this is gorgeous weather. What are you talking about? This is fantastic. We were loving it. And we would go to the subway station, and you would have people in jeans and long sleeve shirts and coats, and I'm like, you guys have no idea what you're missing. This is fantastic. But they also think we're nuts, so
well, you are, but now, well.
Yeah.
It is what it is, homie.
Actually, this year I've only had to put on my jeans 3 times, and that's because I went into the office 3 times this year. And otherwise, it's shorts and t-shirts, buddy. Loving it. That's the Florida dream: shorts and t-shirts. Okay, hold on a second. Rosie says sends a virtual hug back to Clark. Betty says, Medicare is great. Medicare scams is horrible. Abso-freaking-lutely. You guys have to realize that these people are just despicable. And here's the thing, and it's been part of several of my calls. They are targeting elderly individuals. And they even say it. And the ones that aren't Medicare, the calls that aren't Medicare, like the Spectrum ones, they say they're calling to offer discounts for senior citizens. They're targeting elderly people.
Absolutely.
That's even worse, because that is their goal. And I get a lot of them that will say, you don't sound like you're 62 or 67. I'm like, oh, thank you. That's so nice. I'm not, but thank you. But that's who they're targeting. That's who they want to take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Bottom line, they're scum, and all they want to do is take advantage of people. Either they're fishing for your personal data, they're fishing for your credit card information, your bank. It's one of the reasons why the Medicare ones ask you, do you have an active checking and savings account? So we're not asking for that information. We just want to make sure you've got one. Make sure you've got it, because ultimately, if they can get that information and wreak havoc on your accounts, they'll do it. They'll do it. That's why they ask. Rosie says, a sweet friend came to holiday with us from Georgia, and I told her that bring sweater because our summer isn't a Georgia summer, 15 to 17 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit, but yeah. Do you remember?
To us, it's cool.
There was a convention trip I made one year where I went up to Pennsylvania, Reading, Pennsylvania. This is not the one that I went with you. I think it was like either the year before or maybe it was a year after, but it was just me by myself.
Uh-huh.
And I left Florida, and it was a gorgeous 70 degrees. And when I pulled into the hotel where everybody was at in Reading, it was like 30 degrees out. And I got out of the car and went into the lobby, and I'm in shorts and t-shirts, and I'm freaking doing this as I'm walking through the door. And there was a whole gaggle of people waiting in the lobby, because as people were coming, because this is the hotel everybody was going to and staying at, there was a whole gaggle of people, and they recognized me right away. And they're all just cracking up laughing. And I'm like, freaking A, when I left Florida, it was 70.
Oh, yeah, because 35 degrees is cold to us.
It is, but mid 40s, 50s, like it was in New York, that's gorgeous.
If it's bright and sunny, 40s and 50s is fine. If it's wet and cold, it sucks.
All right, hold on a second. Betty says, oops, I just realized by looking at the screen I misspelled. It's okay. Rosie says, there's a YouTuber called Black Belt Barista. Okay. He's a lawyer. All right. Well, on barrister, higher than lawyer, a queen, now king's counsel. Oh, okay. And these are all foreign concepts to us, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He was recently posting about his troubles with the solar panel companies. What's so funny is my brother-in-law, they own their home, and they actually looked into getting solar panels, and turns out here in Duval County, the electric provider does not supplement anything for solar panels. And the solar panel companies will tell you, oh yeah, you can get federal grants and you can get these grants to pay for it. It's not going to cost you anything to put solar panels. He's like, they're lying to you. They're full of crap. So even when it's a valid company calling you, they're still going to lie to you and tell you, get these things and it's going to be free. And it's not. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg. And yeah. Oh, we're not going there. Manuel says Wells Fargo for the $1,000 active Visa card. Yep. I haven't had one from Wells Fargo. I know a lot of people tell me that a lot of those type of scams come in emails, and I honestly haven't been following any of my email ones. I do get a lot of emails, so it's a whole new scam level that I have yet to tap into. That's the email scams and the text message scams.
Yeah,
I'm busy taking all the telephone call scams, so.
My mortgage for that house I had was Wells Fargo, so they would try that with me, and I just, like, the first time I got one through the mail,
yeah,
I called Wells Fargo. I was just like, hey, is this guy's you?
Yeah.
Is these guys you? And they're like, no, that's not us.
Justing76 says Sajab might be one of those scammers. It's always a possibility, but I'm more than willing to let him comment and let me and defend what he's saying, because I mean, everybody has their opinion. I have hours and hours and hours of recordings to debate his opinion. So if he wants to chime in and let me know what he thinks is valid about these calls, please do so. Absolutely. Betty says Medicare is outsourcing in India. Isn't the idea of that scary as hell? You know, the idea that a government entity such as Medicare would have to outsource calling people to call centers in India. I am absolutely sure there are call centers here in the U.S. willing to do that, but I bet you it costs too much money. But then again, I don't think it's valid to begin with. So Clark says, when I did work from home, I worked for a call center company for FedEx. Oh, really? And even though it was legit, you'd be surprised how many people thought it was a scammer. Nope, I understand completely. If somebody is calling you and identifying as a company, you really have to be cautious, because that's what the scammers do. They call and identify themselves as companies you would know. You know, the Walmart one, the Amazon. Oh my gosh, Amazon. Everybody knows what Amazon is. They use that all the time. Oh, and I forgot. I had an announcement to make, and I totally forgot about it. Avery, we talked about this yesterday on my other show, but guys, I have my first hour-long scam call coming. Believe it or not.
Oh.
I had it was one of the Amazon scams that ended up. They transferred me to my Bank of America, which I've never banked with before, and I was on the call for well over an hour, wasting these people's times and having such a great time doing it. But the recording drops on Monday, so everybody out there can look forward to that. Is my first. I think the longest I've ever done to date is probably about a half hour. But this call is an hour. And I did edit out the first call. The first person I talked to was a girl. I could barely understand a word she said, so I cut that out of the video, so that's not even included. There were several parts where there was a lot of just dead air, just waiting for them to answer. I cut all that out. So I think the final video is like 54, 55 minutes long, but it is a Amazon scam that led into it's one of the ones that goes from Amazon to your bank to the Federal Trade Commission. We never got to the Federal Trade Commission, but it's one of the ones where they want you to go to Walmart and buy a gift card and I was having so much fun. With it. And I did learn some interesting things about Amazon that I think you'll be shocked to know about. Avery, did you know Amazon has direct contact with every single bank in the U.S.? Or actually, no, I should say in America.
I'm not shocked by that.
Yeah. So no matter what your bank is, they have a direct line to that bank because they deal with the banks in America so often that they have direct. And you don't, when somebody has stolen your identity and you need to report it to your bank, don't worry. They'll do it for you. They'll get you in touch with your bank. Matter of fact, they'll send them an email and they'll respond to the email on the same call that you're on. I was impressed. I was highly impressed.
Wow.
But that call is releasing on Monday. So I hope you all enjoy. Check it out. Let me know what you think. I had a ball screwing with these people. There's even one point where they wanted me to get dressed. I don't know why the guy thought I wasn't dressed, but he told me I need to get dressed and go to Walmart. And I told him I can't drive. I can barely see 15 feet in front of me. I have to have my neighbor Mary drive me. And I switched it up. It used to be my nurse. This time I told him it was my neighbor. And I'm talking to Mary. I'm yelling to her, hey, Mary, are you here? Can you go take me to Walmart? And the guy kept telling me I can't tell her why I'm going to Walmart. And he kept insisting that I get Mary to drive me to Walmart. And
what a scumbag.
He was totally bad, but I had so much fun with it. So Levi's here. Levi says spoofing the number alone shows they are not legit. Absolutely. I've always said if they have to lie to you in order to get you to talk to them on the phone and showing up as a different number than where they're calling from, that's the first lie. That's the first deception. That's the first sign that they're full of crap. Justin says one of the scammers was using a school district phone number. I actually had a call that came in on the home line, and it showed up as a name my mother-in-law recognized. I think it might have been a lady from the church, an older lady from the church. They were scamming, they were spoofing her number, and she went to go answer it, and I answered it at the same time, and it turned out it was an Amazon scammer. And she's like, "This isn't whatever the lady's name was." I'm like, "Don't worry about it. I got it. Let me handle it." And eventually the line disconnected. But they were using a name or a number that she recognized, and she would have known when they said we're from Amazon that it wasn't the person she expected. But they are nasty, nasty, nasty people trying to get you to answer the phone. So Betty says to Levi, "Yup." Levi says, "I'm going to drop comments on your videos then. I love when your videos are made." Well, absolutely fantastic. I love comments too. I read every single one of them. I usually thumbs up them, so I know I've read them. I will respond to those that need to be responded to, or thanks or whatever. But I read them all. So Betty says, Justin76, they use my company phone number. They've used my company's phone number. Oh, wow. We got a call from a lady that complained to the boss. One of us was calling her, asking her her social security number more. Oh, geez, Louise. Manuel says, Drew, tell all emails are scammers or scammers. Well, I do get a lot of emails that I just don't acknowledge, don't even read, don't even look at. So I know they're out there, but yeah, I just haven't taken the time to get into them. So Betty says, Drew, remember one time we got a cold front in Florida? It was some years back. Actually, it has snowed in our area of Florida. It was 89. It actually snowed in Jacksonville. And the reason why I know that is because I was learning to drive. And my dad was like, let's go to the local high school and drive around the parking lot because it was empty. He says, this may be your only chance to practice on snow and ice, period. And I drove around the parking lot and slipped and slid and had a great time. And then what was so funny is the next day, or no, it was the same day. Was it the same day? Oh gosh, I think it was the same morning. It was a Sunday morning, and we were on our way to church, and we literally were watching people at the stoplight skidding into the other cars in front of them because the people didn't know how to drive on snow and ice.
Oh yeah, it's so foreign to us.
Yeah.
I've never driven on snow and ice.
Really? I only did it that one time, to be honest with you. And I've never, I know when I went to Pennsylvania one year, it was sloshy, but it wasn't snow and ice. It was more of snow crud.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't bad. It wasn't so horrible that like the next morning, the majority of it had melted away. But yeah, it's been a while.
Wow.
It's not something I look forward to, but yes, Betty, we have experienced that in our lifetime. It's one of the reasons we still live down in the South.
Yeah.
Y'all can keep the snow up there. I mean, you
No.
not particularly you yourself, but yes.
Yeah.
So, Rosie says, I've always dreamed of living somewhere permanent, sunny. I live in the spring every year, but I think it would kill me. I've asked my wife. I've told her. I said, my dream place to live is a place where it's cold all year round, not freezing, but cold.
But like 65 all the time.
Between 40 and 60, in that range would be perfectly fine. And I don't care about rain. I don't care about any other type of things. But I despise the heat. I can't stand being hot and overly hot. And I'm one of those people that have always said you can layer. If it gets too cold, you can layer. But when it's hot, you can't rip off any more of your clothes when you're running around the house naked. You just can't.
You know what? I got where I dealt with it much, much better
Mm-hmm.
during that period where I had lost all that weight and I was in shape. It did not bother me as bad.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
I'm a fat man and been a fat man for a long time. So,
Yeah. But when I had that period where I'd lost almost all of it, dude. I was, oh.
yep, yep. All right, let me start catching. Oh my gosh, it's already after 9 o'clock. All right, let me catch up on the chats real quick. We're going to start wrapping stuff up. But I made my big announcement, an almost hour long video coming Monday, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think. If you're not able to do it in one sitting, I understand completely. But I had a lot of fun making the video, and I hope you'll. There's actually parts in the video where they put me on hold, and then I just start talking to you guys. I start talking to the camera, and I'm just enthralled with how much fun I'm having. I hope it comes off, but Amazon scammers, everybody knows those guys are pieces of crap to begin with. So, you know, um, Betty says, Rosie, Los Angeles, nevertheless, they have to deal with fires. Well, that's here in Florida. Our biggest concerns are hurricanes, but I always tell people we can see them coming like a week out. Nobody's ever surprised by a hurricane. You know, tornadoes, on the other hand, you can get surprised by, but hurricanes, the big damaging kind, you see coming from days away. So it's not a bad thing. Now fires, that would probably freak me out, but we don't. I mean, we have fire problems here in some of the rural areas where there's just trees and crap. If lightning strikes and starts a fire, that happens. But Jacksonville, for those of you who don't know, I think it's officially the largest city in the U.S. land wise.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge, and there's developments and all over the place. I mean, we have the north side, the east, the west side, the south side, the beaches. We have the Jacksonville itself is huge, but it's very spread out, and there's a lot of people and a lot of places to live and a lot of different areas. I mean, you can literally there. That I used to live off of a road called Merrill Road, and I lived in an area where it was older houses. You had the post office and the Publix and the bank. You go down the street, and then you're literally in the ghetto. I mean, to where it's crumbling buildings and schools that are just like falling apart. And then you go a little bit further down, and all of a sudden you're in the rich side of town where they have $1 million homes off the waterfront. So it's you can literally travel through economic standings just down one street.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of crazy, but the town's so big. There's lots of different areas like that, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, let me catch up here. Betty says, "Oh yes, absolutely. Everything. Ever thinking about such high temperatures are terrifying. Can be." Bill says, "Are you still here?" Oh yeah, I'm still here. Did my audio go out?
I hear you.
Oh, okay. Because I never know. I get times where the internet will blink for just a quick second,
Mm-hmm.
and for some reason, StreamYards mutes you. And if you're not paying attention, you
Mm-hmm.
could be sitting here talking and be on mute the entire time. And I've done that several times. So yeah, if I get muted, let me know. I'll fix the problem. Avery's thinking to himself, dude, if he gets muted, y'all be quiet. Don't say nothing. Just let him go.
If he gets muted, run.
Rosie says a barrister is a highest level of lawyer before being a judge. Oh, that's interesting. They work in the high crown courts and are the smartest people. He warns on laws and on scammers too. Oh, please, if you know the name of the channel, share it in the comments because I'd definitely be interested in hearing some of that. That would be very cool. Bill says, "Are you still here live?" Yes, I am. We're still live. I hope you can hear me, Bill. Rosie says, "It was truly scary that they almost got around him with solar scam. He had ordered the solar panels and stayed on top of it until delivered, but was not totally legit." Oh, that's scary. That's scary. Betty says to Rosie, I heard lots of people complain about solar panels are scams. They do not save money, and they for the users at the end. That's right. Well, you know what it is? There's government programs to help people in some areas pay for solar panels, and that's what the scammers focus on, taking advantage of people when there's government assistance, because Medicare, solar panels, anything that the government has a hand in, there's people out there that's going to try to abuse it. You know it. And that's just another thing on the list. I'm fairly certain, mark my word, there's going to be a series of scams about electric cars coming in the future.
Probably already is.
They're probably in some places like California. I bet it's happening right now. But once it becomes more widespread, where the government starts saying, "Well, we're going to give you a tax break if you buy an electric car," and it's something that becomes more and more prevalent, scammers will pounce and try to get your money by claiming to be from those. It almost guarantee that's an easy call for me to make. Easy call. So, um, Rosie says to Betty, "I keep hearing that too, Betty." Yep. Oh, wait a minute. Did I miss? Oh yeah. They're talking about the panels. Okay, I read that one. Betty says Amazon has a direct link to report issue scams too on Twitter. Oh, really? That means I would have to log into Twitter. I'm not going to do that.
Well, you want to log into Twitter?
I hate Twitter. The few times that I go to Twitter, I get sucked in, and I end up looking at my phone, going, "I just wasted 20
Twitter
minutes."
does suck. I'm going to be honest. I'm only on Twitter because I kind of have to be.
Yeah, no, I don't even want to be. Manuel says, "I enjoy watching YouTube videos this Monday, Drew." Okay, fantastic. Manuel, you're gonna love the hour long one. Yeah, you're gonna love it, because you know when they call saying they're from Amazon, they're full of crap to begin with. So, and he does ha ha ha. Clark says, "I would love to be a fly on the wall to see the reaction on the faces of these scammers when you screw with them. I can't wait for the video coming Monday." Excellent. Yeah, I've always wanted to do some type of video call with them. I don't know if they're set up to do that, but I think it would be fantastic if it was available. I mean, that would be like a FaceTime video with them. I one time had a scammer on the line. I'm like, I can see you right now through your phone, right? And he was like, "Through your computer or whatever." He's like, "No, you can't." I said, "Yeah, I can. You're right here. I can see you. Can you see me? Hello." And he's like, he had no patience for me, but I tried to convince him I could see him, but it didn't work out.
The one I was crunching chips on didn't enjoy it.
Oh yeah. Rosie says, "Looking forward to hearing it, Drew. Why do they always assume that everyone sits around in their PJs and underwear? Don't they think we all get dressed in the morning? I wear an apron and everything." You know what's so funny? For that conference call at my real job on Thursday, my other boss, he's not my ex-boss, he's kind of the VP of the department. He's the one that reached out and invited me to the conference in order to talk to all the people. And I texted him and I said, "Hey, by any chance, is this an in the office meeting? Because I'd really like to go into the office to see everybody. If it's not, that's cool." And he responded and said, "Nope, sorry, it's not. It's just a Teams meeting." And I responded and said, "Oh, that's all right. I like doing presentations in my PJs anyway." He thought it was funny, and I'm like, "I'm never going to do that. I'm never, ever. I'm always, every morning, take a shower, get dressed."
You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be like that dude from CNN?
No, I do. It's not going to happen. It's not going to. I've never done a live stream in my underwear. I've never done a live stream in my PJs. And you know the reason why is because I'm the idiot who would stand up and flash everybody, and it's not going to happen. So
we appreciate you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, good sir. Manuel says, "I give comments about your videos." Yes, and I read every single one of them, and I appreciate it. Clark says, "I get scam emails from Amazon and PayPal that don't have numbers to call. I'm assuming they just want me to reply to the emails, but I don't." That's probably good advice. Jonathan says, "No cat today." Actually, there was one in here when I started. I guess she left. But they're all out in the living room tormenting my wife, which is perfectly fine with me. Betty says, Clark, I'm getting those emails with not numbers to call, but a link. They are trying to bypass the trouble of talking to us. Yep, I can believe it. Scam baiters, and go directly to steal your information, username, and password. Yep. Rosie says, I may not see it till late on Monday, Drew, but I will watch. Monday is Her Majesty's funeral here. We're in national mourning right now. God rest her. Yep. My wife is there was one day last week, I think it was Thursday or Friday. I went out and my mother-in-law is watching the news, and I said, "So what's going on?" She goes, "Up, I'm watching the procession for the Queen," and I said, "Okay, sounds good." I said, "If she gets up and wakes up, please let me know." She goes, "Yeah, I'll tell you right away." I know, bad joke, but I mean that would be huge news if it happened. So
Sure.
Betty says, long live the Queen." I think she meant long live the Queen, but I was shocked. I did not think Charles would become king. I thought it was supposed to go to his son. I thought he was being bypassed, or maybe I read that somewhere that he was not expected to be king. But I mean, I think it may have something to do with his age.
I don't
That
know.
the thought was when the Queen passed that he would probably have already passed as well because he's getting up there, and that it would go directly to not Harry, the other one. Um, so I assumed he was the son was going to get it, not Charles. So I mean, hey, as long as there is one out there, even if he's just a figurehead, that's still an important thing for a lot of people. So Rosie says, Betty, my hubby got one of those from the bank with links saying our statement was ready on a link. We don't do the online thing and still have paper statements. Wow, that's scary. That's what Betty says. Betty says, Drew, you will be on you will be the first scam baiter call for the electric power scam. I've gotten several of those. I love it. I absolutely love it when they call and they tell you, I'm calling from your cable company or I'm calling from your electric provider. It's like, aren't you supposed to say the name of the company? I mean, is that
No, because they don't
even
know.
possible? Because they don't know.
Yeah.
I had one. It was one of the cable scams, and the guy said, "Are you watching your TV?" I said, "Oh yeah, I'm sitting in front of my TV right now." He says, "Pick up your remote." I said, "Okay, it's in my hand." He says, "What do you see the company logo on the remote?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I do."
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to ask me what is it. But for some reason, I think something happened, and I didn't get to finish that call. But I'm like, you guys are so ridiculous that the idea that there are people out there that fall for this is scary, but there are. They wouldn't keep doing it if it didn't work, at least
Yeah.
some of the time.
Yeah.
You know?
It does work on somebody.
Yep. Yep. But all the people out there in my audience, they know what these calls are like. They've heard them. They know what it's about. The bottom line is when you get these calls, either hang up on them or screw with them like I do. God, that's such a fantastic catchphrase. It's my favorite. All right, let me catch up on the comments and I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for tonight. I appreciate everybody out there. Rosie says to Betty, bless you, Betty. Thank you. Her Majesty was everyone's grandma and has been there for almost everyone's whole life for 70 years. Thank you so much. I find that utterly fascinating to have a monarch in place for 70 years. I mean, obviously that's longer than I've been around. So she's been the Queen of England for my entire life. And my mother was very, I don't know if it's a New England thing. I don't know if your mom was into it or not. When Charles and Diana got married, she was watching it. She was very involved in it.
No,
So
I've
it might be a New England thing, a Boston, New
yeah.
York thing. So, but
People,
they were very into
I don't comment because I don't want to hurt people's feelings.
it. That's fine. That's fine. But it is interesting. Betty sends a virtual hug to Rosie. Betty says about about the looking to the scammers through your phone. Oh, okay. I wish it was possible. Rosie sends one back. Betty says, Drew, prove you are not in your underwear. Jeans. Jean shorts. See? Jean shorts. Well, I am wearing underwear, of course, but I'm not wearing just underwear. You're welcome, Avery.
Oh, you're welcome.
Clark says, I didn't realize Her Majesty had any health issues. She was 96 years old, you know? And she just celebrated her 70th Jubilee thing. So when I had heard that the news was talking about her, all the family coming around her, it did not surprise me later that day hearing that she had passed. And I mean, honestly, 96 years old, you're not surprised, you know. But the woman had a long life. She had a fulfilling life. There was a lot of things she was involved in, a lot of things she did, and there's a lot of people that looked up to her. We should all strive to have a life where we're remembered that way, you know. So she's a great role model, and not just for females but males too. I agree with that 100%. Betty says Clark, she was great, but she was 96. Time to rest, absolutely. Rosie says some hoped, but the line of succession is set in law. Oh goodness, go figure. Go figure. We had constitutional monarchy checks and balances on Muppets, MPSs. Supposed to be. If I miss my beautiful queen, I understand. Thanks to Clark. And Betty's going to get the last note. She says, I didn't think you would prove you are not in underwear. Oh, like, I'll tell you guys a really funny story. When my wife and I were first married and very young, I was a bit of a joker. And sometimes I get into a lot of trouble. It was Christmas time, and we were coming over to my in-laws' house with the kids. And my mother-in-law asked me, she says, so did you get anything for Christmas, something that you really, really liked? And I said, well, my wife bought me some boxer briefs. And she's like, boxer briefs? What are those? I said, well, they're like they're like regular tighty whitey underwear, but they have longer legs. Like they're kind of like boxers in the fact that they have. She says, I have no idea what you're talking about. I said, well, here, let me show you. Pulled my pants down to show my underwear. Needless to say, my mother-in-law loves me.
They support your boys.
My mother-in-law loves me. She thinks I'm great, but yeah, I showed her my underwear, and she.
Oh, jeez, dude.
I know, but I am a champion in my own mind. All right, real quick. Let me just catch up real quick. Nigella Bloom says, good evening. Hello. Manuel says a bunch of smiley faces. Absolutely. Betty says hello to Nigel, I'm not so if I say it right. Who says hi back to Betty. Rosie says, Drew, that YouTube account is called Black Belt Barista. Definitely worth checking out. He's great. Okay, absolutely. I know you mentioned the name earlier, but I wasn't sure if that was the YouTube handle or not. So I'm glad you mentioned it. Betty says, scam baiting royalty is here. Excellent. And Rosie says hello to Nigella. And Nigella says back to Rosie. All right, cool. I got caught up. I'm done. Everybody, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Everybody out there, stay safe. Enjoy your Sunday. If it's hot and humid outside, stay inside. Don't go out if you don't have to. Be prepared for a awesome call on Monday. I hope you guys find it entertaining as I did making it and having and screwing with the guys. And once again, thank you all for joining me. Thank you for commenting and leaving comments on the channel. And dude, Avery, I have a fantastic audience. Are they not awesome or what?
Fantastic.
They are fantastic. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Bye. All right. Let's see if we can.